Peace and blessings and namaste to all light warriors, workers, and everything in between. It is I, Sophie, today, and thanks for joining in. I'm going to get this one portion out of the way first. Thank you. Thank you for all of you who came out to support the mass meditation this Sunday at 7:30 p.m. We had a wonderful time. And I know that I promised my audience that I would upload this video. And the reason why I really wanted to upload this video is because I wanted to show how you had the power in your own cities, in your own towns to hold these type of meditations and how powerful these meditations could be. And if you use your voice, a call and response, affirmations, and then certain breathing techniques, that you will actually start to feel the energy shift and you're starting to make changes. However, I had 3 things that was working in opposition to me and this video upload. Number 1, typically when I do a group meditation, we cut the lights out and we have a singular candle focus in the middle of our circle. All right. So when I went back to view the film, all you could kind of see was light extractions and you couldn't see the people in the circle at all. And it looked very hazy and blurry. And I didn't think that it was that suitable to upload because I kind of was embarrassed by it. You couldn't see us. The second thing that happened was one of our ladies, one of the light workers, has a very young child. He's as cute as anything you would ever see, and I love him so much, but he didn't take his nap, so he was a little bit restless, and so you'll hear a lot of screaming and crying during the time that we were trying to get our mantras done, and so that wasn't suitable either. And then the third thing that happened was at the end, there was some releasing and energy cleansing, and there were some that were kind of laid out across the floor. And I didn't think it was appropriate to, exploit the vulnerability of people that we are healing, because you never know what happens when you're conducting these type of meditations. Sometimes people just release, okay? And when they're releasing, some things are exposed, and maybe that type of vulnerability is not good for the masses to see. Okay, so we're going to work on this a little bit better in the future. And when I have enough subscribers, then we will go live. And what I'll typically try to do for this season is we'll get the energy cleansing and healing out of the way first, so nobody feels vulnerable. And then we'll mess with the lighting a little bit so that you will get a chance to see. And I'll probably open up the back part of my store for the little ones to come in, because we don't ever want to discourage people from bringing children. This is something that we want to start teaching at a very young age, which brings me to the topic that I'm getting ready to discuss now with you. New Earth preparation for schools, okay? There are some beings, who are still here that are fighting with the old system, okay? And their job is to dismantle it, okay? So right now, I'm addressing those of us who are in charge of creating the new Earth. And what I'm going to do is put out some ideas for you so that we can come together as a collective and see this thing into fruition, because we understand that our school systems have failed our children, all right? So I'm going to start with me as an example so you can understand. When I was young, I was always into theater. I was always singing. I was always acting. So my parents, they put me in the schools of performing arts and camps of performing arts. And we did big shows, for Temple University, Robin Hood Del East, like outside concert type of things, And I was very big into acting and singing and dance, and that was an outlet for me. And I loved it when I went to school. And I loved the field trips when we got to go to the operas. We got to go to see the ballets. We got to see plays, orchestras, dance recitals, all of those things, okay? And it gave me a sense of joy. Have you ever heard and actually listened to the frequency of a live opera and how it makes you feel? Have you been to plays? Have you heard orchestras, live music, okay? And how it stimulates the mind, the heart, all right? These are things that our children are missing because our school systems have taken music and theater out of it. But there are divine beings that come here with a a way of expressing themselves and raising vibrations that is taught on a different level. Everyone's not here to be an intellectual, okay? Everyone has different gifts, and there's different levels of intelligences, including emotional intelligence, okay? So I had that type of upbringing. My father is a musician, okay? And he played 4 instruments. I can't play none of them. I can't play any of them. But my father could, and he could sing, and my mother could sing. And even my son, who is now, of course, an adult, he's doing his own path, but he has musical talent too. All right. But where are the outlets in these schools unless you are in band? Where do we nurture and cultivate all of our writers, our playwrights? They have to wait to go to college to do that? Why aren't we developing our children very young? Here's the things that I think, and that we need a lot of you light workers and warriors to start manifesting and putting yourselves in positions for this new earth. We need teachers that are going to show our youth the value of music, of theater, of dance, of creativity, and self-expression. We also need teachers that want to start introducing philosophical concepts so that we can start to re-encourage critical thinking with our children. See, the problem is we have been so conditioned to think inside of our little boxes that new things aren't developing from them. We're recycling the same things over and over and over again. And we are trying to push new creative ideas, new frames of thoughts, okay? And we want to start this out in elementary school. We don't want to wait until they get to the college or college levels to start doing this. Conflict resolution strategies need to be introduced to children when they're young too. You see a lot of fights in the schoolyards, biting, things of that nature. You don't know what the household is like at home. You don't know what is bridging these types of behavior. But the teacher is the second voice, okay, of the child. The parents are the first voice. The teachers are the second voices. So what we're trying to do is really develop a system around our children where they are protected and guided on all fronts, in the home, also in the schools. They took out home economics, carpentry, trades and labors out of school, labors and trades out of school. We had that when I was growing up, and it was absolutely amazing, okay? You learned how to cook, you learned how to sew, you learned how to farm, you learned how to weld, things of that nature. We still need that today. I know there's a lot of focus on sci-fi or STEM, and engineering and science and things of that nature. But that only speaks to a certain demographic of our children. What speaks to the other demographic of our children, right? We understand that males and females learn differently. A lot of little boys have been diagnosed with having ADHD, all right, or ADD. Why? Because they're expected to sit still and learn and be poised like little girls, but little boys learn differently from little girls. So how do we, as a collective, construct something around little boys that'll keep them attentive? All right. Are they good with science? Are they good with math? And if that is the case, why not start introducing higher levels of knowledge to them so that they can develop a little bit easier? Did you know that our school systems have been pushing out graduates because they had the no man left behind or no child left behind thing, and they were pushing out high school graduates that by the time they hit the college level, they were deemed illiterate, okay? Because it was about the money, all right? This 3D realm has always been about position and money. Our new earth is going to be about the consciousness of the people, okay? We need to start introducing meditations along with recesses, all right? Sometimes we got to calm the child's mind down. All right, get them to focus inward. Get them to really, really tap into what it is that they came here to accomplish. We also need more male teachers, all right, because unfortunately, a lot of our youth are coming from single parent homes. And some of our male teachers are the second line of defenses, right? So you'll have young boys that are looking at their coaches as father figures. So when we have male teachers, it's always a blessing because this is an area that most females, dominate. We love to teach, right? But males love to teach too. And they become very beneficial to the psychology of our little boys when they see a male teacher, and it's okay. And that they can talk to them on the level that they understand. Remember, our minds aren't the same, okay? But there's different levels of intelligence. And when we learn one another's level of intelligence, we'll become way more effective in our communication strategies. Another thing that has been missing from our schools is our debate teams. Debate teams are very important, okay? And I know that people may not think that it is, but it really is. Because what happens is if you don't have the ability to express yourself or express your truth, it turns emotional. And so what you end up doing is just attacking each other and fighting for no reason, when you can teach your children strategies on how to bring forth or present an argument that is influential. And it does not have to come with a bunch of emotions, anger, or fighting, okay? The mindset has got to change. So now we have to learn how to present arguments in a healthy manner. And this needs to be done before college, all right? Unless you want to have a whole bunch of schoolyard fights again. We need to start bringing back debate teams, okay? We do not need to be focused on sex education in elementary school. That's a problem. That's a problem because we have already overly sexualized our youth as it is. They see it everywhere, okay? When I was growing up, you know what the boy bands look like? New Edition, the boys, they look like little kids. And they were singing little kid songs. Candy Rain and things like that. And you would sit there and sing along with them. The new generation of these same ages of young boys got abs and pecs and thrusting and all of that stuff. And little girls are following them. Okay, so we're already overly sexualizing our youth and they're not ready for that. Okay, so that needs to be taken out. And when we start getting into preteen or teenage, yes, we can start introducing these concepts, mainly at 14 years old. The 7 cycles of life, okay? 0 to 7, 7 to 14, 14 to 21, all right? And then you just kind of keep going on and on until you become an elder, all right? But around 14 years old would be the ideal time to even start introducing some of these sexual concepts and the importance of family values, the importance of children balancing masculine and feminine energies, understanding what the family unit was designed to do, okay? How we build communities, all of those things. Our school systems have been failing our youth for a very long time, and we're wondering why they get into their teenage years and either drop out or just act a donkey, or just have no intelligence. We're not reaching our men the way that we need to. And divine feminine, this is some of your responsibility. It is. It is some of your responsibility. Remember, we're here to heal the divine masculine as well. So we have to get this done. Certain other things that I would like to see in school is healthy diets, right? Food. When I grew up, we had these weird square pizzas. And a lot of us put hot sauce and ketchup on it. It was the weirdest thing. I just went along with the fray because that's what was happening. But it was disgusting, but healthy foods to start coming back into our school systems, okay? We want to structure these schools so that our teachers have the ability to really teach truth, all right? Let's start teaching the true history behind the United States, behind our civilizations, behind empires that rose and fell, and why. Start teaching the children how to learn through critical thinking, observation, so that they can say, oh, wow, I wouldn't have made that mistake, or I would have made that mistake. We have to start teaching our children how to respect adults again, okay? I understand that there are many adults who act like children. I understand that, okay? But we want to install back into our youth the value of what an elder or a parent is to them, so that they're not ignoring the wisdom when it is being presented. Okay? I have raised my son to respect his elders. Even if he doesn't agree with them, you do not cuss them out. You do not get into fights with them. Okay? If you don't agree with what's being taught, then you can bow out gracefully and say, I humbly just don't understand right now, but maybe we can table this a little bit later. Thank you for your wisdom. And just go on and dismiss it. Our youth are out of control right now. They have no respect for their elders, but I understand some of the reason why, because some of our elders don't have respect for themselves. So we're learning by observation. Divine Feminine, this is you too, okay? This is you too, especially you women. If you have young sons, you are what they are mirroring what their future wives may be. So we dress a certain way. We carry ourselves a certain way, okay? We make sure that our sons see us as honorable. All right? You don't want to be, I'm going to say it this way. You don't want your son to bring you home something that you're not going to agree with because he doesn't know any better. All right, so you have to be what he sees. And the same thing for divine masculines with daughters. You are the first line of defense. So you want her to bring home a man that mirrors how you are treating your daughter. All right, so they don't get caught out there with the thugs and everything else. All right, so even in our school systems, we take that type of inspiration from home, we bring it into the school curriculums or the school systems, and we still have males and females who are staying in that line of thought, the way that they dress, the way that they present themselves, okay? A certain level of class, so that your children learn to develop that, all right? And we can get them out of this vicious cycle of anger. And we understand why they have this vicious cycle of anger, because the children that came in, they already looked around and realized that this earth was BS. They just didn't have a healthy and constructive outlet to express themselves. And this is what we are trying to do here on the new earth. And we need these type of teachers here. We need science teachers to start introducing higher levels of science. You know, we have our periodic tables and we understand the elements, but why aren't we playing around with them? Why aren't we juggling with philosophy and quantum mechanics, even though we're not teaching quantum physics, but just implanting at a very young age on how the mind has the ability to create the outcome. So in an instance, we're kind of teaching how to jump dimensions without teaching them and being above their head. You understand? The new earth teachers that are coming forth, we're coming here with a vengeance, because we know what it takes to raise children and youth to be very productive citizens in our society. But it starts with teaching right knowledge and right information, and not being afraid of losing a grant. We have been fed falsehood for a very long time, and we have not had our children having the ability to express their creativity and their uniqueness. By structuring school systems with a standard, a carbon copy standard for every single student. It doesn't work that way. I am asking light warriors and light workers to start visualizing what your schools need to look like for the betterment of your children. Their emotional development, their spiritual development, their mental development, and their physical development. Introducing healthier foods, sports, recreation, meditation, teaching the golden rule, the principle, the commandments. What happened to all of that? As soon as we started moving these core principles from our schools went to crap. This is your job, light warriors and light workers. Start manifesting in your group. Start writing out curriculums. Writing out curriculums for your children. I'll be doing the same on my end. You are a master manifester when you are in right alignment and when you carry the heart of source within. It'll be easy for you. But what is important now, teachers, start to come forward. All the math, the English, the science, the history, the meditations, philosophy, debating, theater, music, art as well, very, very important. Major artists, the way that we express ourselves, the way that we teach is so different. I can stand here and I can lecture you about something and somebody else could do a painting that spoke the exact same message and everybody would get it. Do you see? There is no, that's not important, only this is. That's not true. In order to be fully developed, you want to be cultured and you want to have the ability to start at a very young age understanding what life is really about, what community is really about, and what social skills, high social skills is really about. And we can stop killing each other when we don't get along and stop cutting each other off when we don't get along. That is all I have to say today. I hope you got something out of it. Start writing your curriculums. I am Sophie, and I love you all.